Good morning, Nigeria. It's the breakfast show on TSL Nigeria TV, where we have news on politics, sports, entertainment, and so much more. Did you know that we also have feature stories where we talk about nothing but everything? It's the breakfast show on TSL Nigeria TV.
Good morning and welcome to the breakfast show on TSL Nigeria TV. I am Adrian Omogede and today I have my beautiful ladies with me. Good morning, ladies. Just looking sweet. Bibi always looking stunning.
Thank you.
Why you choose always? I was looking sweet.
Including you.
It's over. The moment has passed.
Why are you jealous? Why are you jealous? Why are you jealous?
Anyways, did you guys sleep well? I kind of had a very short night.
I slept by 8 p.m. and woke up tired. I cannot make this thing up.
I don't even understand how you are still tired. I slept by 8.
I don't know, but I'm tired.
Yes.
Probably because we have shorter nights, I think.
Fam.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so. So, Bibi, how's your night? Just
It was okay. I managed.
I managed.
Alright, so we're going straight to the newspapers this morning, and I have with me here the Guardian newspaper for Tuesday, March 26, 2019. And the major news here says Zamfara government seats may be vacant as court nullifies APC primaries. You see that on page 6 of your Guardian newspaper. It also says INEC resumes collation in Bauchi gubernatorial poll. And then there's a picture story here with the Minister of Trade and Industry of Rwanda. It says Soraya Hakuzi Renye on the left. Globalcom's Executive Vice Chairman Bella Disu, and then Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zende, and then Togolese President Farouk Gnassingbé, and President of the African CEO Forum Amai Ben Yamed at the opening session of a forum in Kigali, Rwanda yesterday. You see the story on page 4, and just below it, confusion in Rivers State. AAC, APC as year defects to PDP. You see this news on page 6 of your Guardian newspaper. And then another one here says 2 injured in another collapsed building in Lagos. This is just sad. We need to do something about this. Alright, and then piano and drums stops playing for Okara as he answers the call of River None. For more news and more information on Guardian, go to your local vendor and get more news. Alright, girls, what do you have for me?
Please go ahead.
Okay, for the Nigerian Tribune, we have APC petitions DSS, accuses PDP of hacking INEC server, and that's on page 2. And then we have Rivers AAC deputy governorship candidate joins PDP. Wow. Okay, another building collapses on Lagos Island, page 30. We also have, again, court hits APC, nullifies all its primaries in Zamfara state. Wow, that's on page 4. And European Union says we run polls marred by vote buying, interference, intimidation. That's on page 6. Okay, that's all we have for the Nigerian Tribune for Tuesday, 26th March 2019.
Okay, and I have the Vanguard for Tuesday, March 26, 2019. March 26, March is coming to an end. Okay, so we have appeal court sacks governor-elect and all APC candidates in Zamfara. PDP, CUPP, Farishe offers hail verdict. Zamfara ruling a lesson for INEC politicians and parties, says lawyers. INEC gets court nod to resume collation of Bauchi governor poll results. And for the picture story, we have a solidarity visit. We have the River State Governor Nyesom Wike, second to the right. We have the Senator-elect Barry Mpigi on the right. A former River State AAC Deputy Governorship candidate, Chief Akpo Bombaye. In the middle, we have PDP National Chairman Prince Uche Secondus, second to the left. And River State PDP Chairman Bro Felix Obwa during a solidarity visit by the former African Action Congress AAC Deputy Governorship candidate Chief Akpo Bomba at the Government House, Port Harcourt on Monday. You can find the story from pages 37 to 40. We have female nurse murdered in Enugu. You can find this on page 34. In Rivers State, AAC deputy candidate defects to PDP, says Wike won. You can find this on page 12. Now, in sports news, Osihen's hat-trick sends Nigeria to final round of qualifying race. All right, let go. And of course, you know I like to look at my Mr. and Mrs. This morning, Mr. says, my people will be here soon. I want them to see you cook, clean the kitchen, wash rooms, do the laundry, and iron the clothes. Show them I married the best woman. And Mrs. says, take them to a construction site where they will see men at work.
Construction site.
I mean, at some point, are we going to address the collapsing buildings in Lagos?
It's just sad that this is happening
And I have more
again.
buildings, they're going to get more frequency of this collapsing because of the buildings.
Has there been any story, any history, something for us to grasp as to the reason why this is constantly happening?
Foundation, I guess.
Foundation is not good, and then some of these areas are swampy.
And then you want to like add more building. On Lagos now, the way they increase, probably because of the tenants, they want to get more money, so they just come and increase the buildings, and it's not strong enough for that foundation.
And then if you check it, some of these areas are very swampy.
Yes.
And so you shouldn't be adding more load
to it
when you're not sure of what your strength underneath is. And they're just selfish. And these buildings have been put up for demolition, and nothing has been done about it.
I mean, we need to ask these questions. Are Nairas exchanging hands? Is anyone being held accountable for all these things that are happening? Thankfully, there were no lives lost in this one. Yeah. But at some point, we need to talk about it. We need to be able to hold somebody accountable. Somebody needs to go to jail at least one time.
Exactly. I agree with you.
To set a precedent that if you do this kind of thing, this is going to happen to you. Yeah. It's so sad. Guys, we have to go pay some bills. Now, when we come back, we're going to be having a pretty dicey situation. I think it's safe to say all our ladies on set look exceptionally pretty. We should be talking about if this pretty or if this beauty has an extra perk attached to it. It's TSL Nigeria TV. Good morning. Good morning and welcome back to the Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV. Now, from Cleopatra to Kim Kardashian to tiny waists and full connecting beds, being good looking certainly has its perks. Now, research has shown that good-looking candidates for job opportunities are more likely to get the job than their competition, and even more good-looking students are graded higher than their counterparts. This morning, the ladies and I will be conversing on the possibilities of pretty privilege. Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys look fire, first of all. Bibs, should we leave? So you leave. Just okay, I'm going to just throw out the first question. Do you guys believe that pretty privilege exists? Adriel.
Pretty privilege exists because when you check society, one of the things you see is that people get favors just because they are beautiful. Do you understand? Take Bibi for example. As she's beautiful right now, she can just get recharge card. You know, that's a compliment. You know, she could just get recharge card. Anyway, so people, pretty privilege, I feel is a thing, and it has been working for some people. People have been using it to their advantage.
Look how you say stuff like you're not fire. but first of all, before I even jump into that, I think we should probably educate our listeners. Bibi, what do you think is pretty privilege?
Okay. Beauty, for instance, is a social construct.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean, I can see you now, and I don't feel socially constructed to do it.
It's a social construct, and then society determines the guidelines that make what is acceptable and what isn't. You get? So I think pretty privilege is something that you have in you. Makes you look good. Like your appearance, your charisma, and all that.
So looking good does things for you. It's pretty privilege.
It does, definitely, it does.
Yeah, people react more positively to
attractiveness.
People.
Yes.
They tend to go extra mile to satisfy them, to pleasing them. Yeah, you know, they give them more attention
than others.
And even not just that, pretty girls, they get freebies.
Yes.
This lady told me about.
I want to get a point. Babes, please go ahead.
And then she was just walking, then someone just stopped by and, told her, oh, lady, you're so pretty. Just gave her 20K. Can you imagine?
Why you
pretty.
pretty?
First of all, where do you pastor? Listen, we have to try out this theory. We have to send somebody else there.
Exactly.
And know if it was pretty privileged or the person is just a nice man that likes to share money. We don't know. I'm fighting for you here. We don't know if the man is just a man that likes to share money. Right, babes? Or are there any other personal stories to...
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I used to have this friend back when I was in school, insanely beautiful lady. And she had this boyfriend that, broke her heart. And she was always crying and stuff. And I said to her, as a joke, I said, look, if you get ready tonight and go to the club, you find someone that will give you money for being alive. And then, we all laughed.
Yeah.
And then later that night, a friend of her calls her and she goes to the club. Let me burst your head. Somebody gave her money that night for being alive.
Are you kidding?
I am not even making this up. And then I've also gone for, now this is a personal story that I try to not share, but whatever. I've actually gone to a job interview and I thought, let me not say that I'm confident, I thought that I excelled the bulk of the candidates, but the light-skinned woman, got the job.
Yeah, because she's more attractive.
Exactly, and I wasn't really mad about it. I started looking for the factual ways to defend it. If you're lighter, it's easier to lie to you. I started making up stories just to convince myself that there's a logical reason. But do you think that it is possible that being beautiful puts you ahead? It's considered above your skill set.
Okay, first of all, being pretty is an advantage, you get, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't use your head. If you're pretty and you're not having something upstairs, it doesn't work that way. Okay, what happens if your pretty privilege, you being beautiful, doesn't work at that moment? You'll be desperate, definitely. You want to do something extra. Yes, that's it.
But what I'm saying is, we all go for a job interview. They say package and repackage.
Yes.
Well, as the Lord will have it, the Lord package you from heaven.
Amen.
You came down packaged. And so you go into the interview room, looking all fine and zelzy and all that jazz. And then there's the other guy has BSc, MSc, ABB. One of those things, his CV was 44 pages.
Wow.
But you just go right in there and you flash a smile and you got the gig. So is it possible that people place good looking above skill sets?
It's it's something dicey. It depends. It depends on who you are meeting at that time.
Okay.
First of all, what happens is that you go there, you know what you're doing. Now, some people don't even give pretty face opportunity to explain themselves. There's some people who just analyze you and say, this one is a fine face. She probably doesn't even know anything about the job.
Oof.
And then that's a conclusion.
Yeah.
So that's a downside to being pretty.
Yes, that's a downside to being pretty. Some people just look at you and say, this one, she just came here, packaged herself. I'm not sure she has brains. And some people are not even willing to go the extra mile to see whether
you have something.
That's why you should give that
and then there are also people who go to the same interview and then because you're pretty and you packaged yourself well and say this one is more confident.
Yeah.
And then that other one that has gathered first class and she is ready to do and undo doesn't get it because he didn't come looking pretty and arranged and so it's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's a disadvantages for this pretty privilege thing
that we're going to revisit. But let me ask these questions because I feel like people don't raise this part of the conversation so much. When people think about pretty privilege, you think about women. you know, light-skinned women, there's colorism in play. We never really discuss about pretty privilege for men. The reason why connecting bearded men are getting more women than men with little facial hair. Let's talk about pretty privilege for men. Does it exist?
Definitely.
Yes. Please, Ms. Florence, do we have to hear from you?
Yeah, like a friend told me, a guy, this thing actually happened to him.
Okay.
You know what? He was a marketer in a bank. You know these marketers, you know how they strive to get, you know,
to meet their targets.
Yeah, so there's this woman that really likes him. You get, because of the guy's beauty. You get.
He's handsome.
Yeah.
Fine boy.
The woman said, don't worry, I'm going to remember the guy is a contract staff.
Okay.
So the woman has said, oh, because of your handsomeness, you know, I'm going to give you 200 million.
Whoa.
So I can be a full staff.
Are you kidding me?
So
That one is.
but you know what? There's a competition.
Definitely.
You know what I mean. You know.
I wish I had a
Rub my back.
I mean, you know, it's just slight rubbing.
So what happened? Tell me the other part.
The other part. You don't have to give me the
Is it now a full stop?
It's not a full stop.
He didn't do it.
Yeah,
Or she didn't come through.
or maybe he did it and the
she
woman
didn't-
did not, because some people
true.
promise
Take
and
advantage.
fail.
People take advantage.
Like some girls too, when you go for job interview, because you're pretty, they want to be like,
They won't ask for your
this girl
brain.
is pretty, let me, you know, they want to use advantage. Then if you're a dumb ass, you will just like
Fall into it,
and you know, do the other thing, and at
And
the
they end up
end,
not picking
they
you.
will not
That's
pick
true.
you.
They won't pick you.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just have to be pretty with brain.
No,
Very, very important.
Which brings me to something else that I find quite offensive. I find, and this is probably, I probably get attacked and people will think I'm overreacting, but I find the term beauty and brains very offensive. Now,
Why?
this is why. It makes it seem like being beautiful and having brains are mutually exclusive. I've never heard handsome and brains before.
Okay.
I've never heard six-pack and brains.
Okay.
I've never heard connecting beards and brains. So do you guys think that being beautiful and being smart are mutually exclusive? That if you're beautiful, you're not smart. If you're smart, odds are you're not a slay queen.
It doesn't mean you're not a slay queen or you're not exclusive. You get it. Just that's extra spice. That extra spice makes you like look more classy, confident, and then smart. Just being smart adds to it. So you're you're pretty, and then you have something extra to add to the table. Everything is
And then people respect you. It comes with respect
for you.
And people respect you when you're able to say you're beautiful, and then when they hear you talk, what you're saying is intelligent, and they're like, this one, you know, this one is she's there, there, you know.
So that's
and then if you say a
respect
doctor,
increases.
doctor, she's pretty, and then she's a doctor. I say this one on point, and they respect you.
Okay, I think this one is a personal question. Now, first of all, I like to say there's no holds. Okay, let us be real and factual.
All right.
We're all friends. This is a safe space. Have you ever used pretty privilege? Blessing Hansen.
why?
I had to call your name. You can't move. Have you used pretty privilege? Have you gone to a place and gotten something and you knew that your fine girl was at play?
Well, you said we should be real, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have.
Kiss
Definitely.
enough.
I have. And then your appearance. I dressed well. I knew I was looking good.
There you
get.
go.
And then I went to the bank, and
It was
It's always bad.
you know, school days now.
Okay.
So I went to the bank, and the queue was mad. Like seriously, I was like, how? So I just came. I just walked in, and then from the gate man.
Okay now. Auntie, you smell nice.
Yeah, the way they were saying to you,
And then the manager was like, okay, help me call that lady down
The
there.
manager of the bag attended to you.
Okay, it's upstairs.
you know, pretty girl.
Yeah,
Pretty,
so it
pretty
worked.
privilege works.
Okay, I'm gonna go to you, Edro. You know you did that thing when you were hiding your beauty from us, and then one day you were like,
Why?
you know what you did?
Anyways, I cannot practically think of an example. Categorically say that exactly that. Sorry, I cannot categorically say, Joyce, take your time. I cannot categorically say that I have used pretty privilege, but I know that looking good has brought favor. Like you just come out and you're looking sharp and okay has gotten me things, and I can't give you an example.
Because there are too plenty. I understand.
Choice, please. Anyways, it has given me opportunities. That's made like they say everybody, and then they say these ones look good. They put me inside, you know, a set of people that look good, and we will get the opportunity.
So it has worked for you, and it has worked for you. There's 2 out of 4 now. So
you are included. I'm very sure.
Miss Flores, I mean, you know, one day you, one day you were getting ready, you're like, let me just add extra cleavage. Just let me just, what? You know, what did you have?
So you hiding place for me for holding fish. You caught my husband.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Go you.
So most definitely you're saying that his work to
always look attractive, like dress well, even as an housewife, you don't need to be tying wrapper, you know, look fine. You wear all these bomb shorts to keep looking good for your man.
And fresh.
So it's always good to be attractive.
Okay, so let's come down to the facts now, to the negativity of pretty privilege.
Yeah.
Now, while I was researching for this show, you know, I came across a lot of stories that show that when you're really beautiful, there is one thing that you get a lot of unnecessary attraction from the opposite gender, and a lot of sexual assault. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that this is a permanent, or this is a struggle for being beautiful?
I think people just misunderstand beauty. I don't think people are rapists, they are rapists. People are abusers, they are abusers. Do you understand? It has to do with their personality. People will tell you that, oh, the reason why I harassed that girl is because see the way she dressed. That's your business. She has a right, she has freedom of expression. Yes. She has a right to dress the way she wants to dress.
Nothing
that's her business.
But you're not supposed to dress anyhow.
I understand what you're saying, but people now take advantage. Okay, take us now as we're looking good, and then we step out and someone verbally abuses us and says something derogatory because we're looking fine. People actually insult you on the road because see head, see shoe, because you are looking good though. Yeah. No other reason. And then I think people are people. It doesn't have anything to do with pretty for me. I think people are people, and people just take advantage of the excuse to abuse because. So
irrespective of pretty or not pretty, abuse exists, and it's not a byproduct of being beautiful.
It's not a byproduct of being beautiful.
What do you think?
Okay, men are misguided by
Auntie. Please go ahead.
Okay, men are misguided by this thing, like they bring money, they bring this luxury gift just to entice
because you're beautiful.
Yes, and then they forget the fact that being pretty doesn't have to do with sex.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel it's a disadvantage, and they're still struggling with it. Girls, we're still struggling with it. You go to the office, you want to get this position, and because you're pretty, the boss wants to have sex with you before he gives you. You get so it's very demeaning, and it's very bad, really.
Men.
They'll always be men.
Because they are beautiful. They know what they are looking for. Every woman has it, even if they are married. Their wife cannot satisfy them.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why they are like that. They will say they've been eating a goosey soup every time. Now they want to eat
salad.
I don't know what that means. Because it's the same thing. You get, so I think it's in their nature for them. It's not about the way
dress,
or you're beautiful.
But I have a feeling that it's not gender specific, because I have for some reason, I have a large collection of very good looking men as friends, and they constantly complain about the harassment they get from women. That women will constantly, shamelessly throw themselves at these men, buying them fancy things, texting unnecessarily, just giving them extra attention that they do not want. So there is no point that, irrespective of the gender, that it's not a man problem.
Yeah,
that if you're good looking, you're going to get undue attention.
See, people, as I said, people will be people. Do you understand? Their attention is not on because you're pretty. It's not just that. You know, it's just for me, it's just the advantage they're taking. Let's use, she's pretty. Eh? Why would she dress like that if she's not looking for attention?
Yeah,
do you understand? True. Why is she looking like this? Why did she wear this?
Why is he smelling nice?
Why
is he smelling nice?
Why is he wearing his steps are showing? See his six packs. Do you understand? And girls do it too. Girls.
Last question before we call it a night. What do you think society can do to remove the undue pressure or the undue privilege on good-looking people?
Okay.
Mindset.
Okay.
For everybody. You just have to have that mindset of not harassing someone. Probably you meet a girl, or the girl is working, and you talking to her, she doesn't respond, and then the next thing, I beg you,
exactly.
Why? Why do you have to badmouth? Yes. So we just have to have that mentality of mind reset.
Growth. Let's grow. Let's understand that life keeps evolving, and certain things will keep happening. Do you understand? So it doesn't change anything if you are pretty, if you have brains, you are a human being and you should be respected. Do you understand? You should be respected. People should respect you. Nobody should take advantage of you because you're pretty, and do not overuse your pretty privilege.
Mr. Orange, have anything else to add over there? You said it all, right? And it's a wrap from the ladies and I. We spoke today about pretty privilege. Basically, all we have to say is, well, pretty privilege exists. We know that it exists in society, and some people actually go out of their way to use their pretty privilege. While we're not going to throw stones, while we obviously live in a glass house, all we have to say is just be careful and respect people, irrespective of what they are or what they look like, and always try to give people their due entitlements.
Respect.
Yes, their entitlements, whether or not they look a certain way. If looks are not the basis for the job, then it should not be used as a criterion to give someone a gig. We'll come back again tomorrow, as always, to have more conversations. So this is TSL Nigeria TV. Remember to follow us on all our social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TSL TV. And of course, to subscribe to our YouTube page, TSL Nigeria TV. My name is Joyce Jukes. Have yourself a wonderful morning.
Bye.